equaling up to 8 lights shine bright.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. We back, y'all. We appreciate it. Final segment of the What the Hell version of the show. We appreciate the folks listening to us on Legacy Internet Radio, on Loud City Shoutcast, Winamp, as well as on MixLR. Thank you for the love, and we appreciate it. Call us up if you want to be down at 804-402-2893, or continue to show us the love that y'all showing us on the Facebook fan page. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Hit us up on the fan page for legacyinternetradio.com, as well as on MixLR. We see y'all out there. We appreciate the love that we getting. We're gonna keep it moving, y'all. The next two stories that I want to do, I want to kind of combined. So I'm going to kind of do them all together. I'm gonna come to Fawn on this one first, on these two first. Once again, I'm gonna combine them, so y'all give me an opportunity to kind of give them to you first before y'all comment, because I know the first of the two gonna make y'all go, what the hell? And I'll just read the byline first. Rich, and I'm getting this from the New York Post in New York City. Rich Manhattan moms hire handicapped tour guides so kids can cut lines at Disney World. Think about that for a second. That's the byline. And I was sitting with Pops on Saturday, Pops J, and me and him was talking about this one. Basically what you got is you got rich people in New York City who go to Disney World, and they basically hire handicapped people, wheelchairs, mentally retarded people like this, to hang out with them in their entourages so that they don't have to be in the long lines. You had lines that last as long as two hours. I went to Disney World in 2010, and literally it was an all-day event. I mean, we got there when the doors opened up at 8:39, whatever it was, and we didn't leave there till damn near midnight. You know what I mean? So when you go to Disney World, it literally is an all-day event. She is in there complaining you can't go to Disney without a tour concierge. Like seriously, I can't believe that she actually says that. But she's really, when some of these quotes, and I won't read them all, but there's some real serious quotes out here that will annoy the hell out of you. Basically she's justifying it. Again, I won't read them. If you want to look this up, just basically search, rich people hiring handicapped tour guides so that their kids can cut the line at Disney World. It's out there on the New York Post. You can find it if you want. They're, paying these people, as much as, $300 to $400 an hour, depending on how long they're at Disney World. That's the first story, right? Second story I want to give you, also Disney influenced. The first one was the New York Post. This one is from the Griot, which is a black website, a black news website. You got a Florida pastor who also happens to be a Disney employee who's accused of watching child porn on his Disney computer at work. He works for Disney. He's a Sanford pastor, which, if you know Sanford, it's a suburb of Orlando, which is where Disney is, and he has been accused of downloading and watching child porn while working at Disney's Port Orleans resort. Cedric Eugene Cuthbert is his name, 49-year-old, worked at Disney for over 7 years, and he's the pastor at St. James African Methodist Episcopal. For those of folks who may not be familiar, that's the AME, y'all, in Sanford. So he gets locked up for looking at child porn at work. And what he may not have been aware of, that some companies have that software that takes a picture of your screen every couple seconds. So if you're looking at baby ass, they know you're looking at baby ass. Okay, so hey, look, I wild out. I say what I feel. I'm sorry, Big Hoop is losing his mind over here. I said baby ass. I'm sorry. All right, Fawn, I'm gonna come to you on this one first. Two stories. You got on one side of the gate, you got rich people hiring handicapied people so they can cut the line. On the other side of the gate, you got a man at the cloth.
I can pick which
looking
one.
at baby ass.
So I can pick.
You can pick which one or talk about both. What you got?
I'll take the one with the cutting the line at Disney.
Okay.
I don't think it's anything wrong with it. I really don't. People always cutting lines. I don't get paid for it.
She said Disney.
Yeah, get paid for it. I don't think anything is wrong with it. You know, I think a lot of people looking at it because he said something about being handicapped. You know, but I really don't think anything's wrong with it.
All right, Big Rube, you over there losing your damn mind about baby ass and cutting lines. Why don't you share with us what's got you all broke up? You know,
First of all, the baby ass comment was just hilarious. I'm sorry. I've never heard it in such a term before. It's dirty, but it was funny. I mean, because let's just be honest, man. We unfortunately as people look at baby ass all the time, and I call that porn.
We do.
On commercials, man. I mean, all them naked babies on commercials, man. And I'm just like, yo, put some clothes on them kids. Because I think it's messed up.
I don't think Gerber is the same as what the preacher was doing.
Point, man.
But
that's not the point. But nah, man. Yo, I mean, I think it's great that he got fired at Disney because let's just be real. You can't look at that stuff at the job. You just cannot. And the fact that he even made it to a site, the computer site, they set dude up because most companies you can't even get to that. Yo, they set dude up strong, and I'm sorry, they ain't fight. Obviously, he won't looking at that like, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Got there. No, dog. They've been checking you out, and they probably got weeks and weeks upon stuff. I mean, come on, man. If you're gonna look at that stuff, it's called your house.
Carlton Banks, dude. Before Carlton Banks go in, let me just address the last part of Big Rube. You can't look at baby ass at your house. You can't look at baby ass at work. You shouldn't be looking at baby ass, man.
Look, man, if you're looking at it, it's best to do it at home.
No, because eventually you're gonna be looking at it, and you know I don't want to. I don't want to make light of it. We're saying it in a comical way by using the phrase "baby ass," which just came out. I didn't like. I have baby ass written in my.
Let's change it.
But the reality is, if you're looking at it, you know, how many times did you see something? I think. Hold up.
All right.
How many times did you see something that you was like, "Whoa, this is cool," and you didn't send it to somebody who you also would think that they think is cool. Not so if you like child porn, you know at least one other person that likes child porn. So you're going to send it to that person like, yo, do you see this? So, you know, again, you know, we said it in a silly way. We reclined it before, but to kind of
be real.
Let's to bring it back to be a little bit serious here. If you looking at something, whether it be child porn, grown up porn, or just the dunk that, or the dunk that, you know, your favorite basketball player got on another guy, or the block that, you know the guy had on Carmelo on Saturday. Whatever it is that you like, you know of at least one person who you agree will think that that's cool as well. So if you see the child porn, you're going to send it to that person. You know what that makes you? It makes you a trafficker.
Exactly.
And that is against the law. And whether you're doing it at work or you're doing it at home, there is no level of, you know, it being bad because, you know, once you do something bad, whether you slap your lady or you shoot her in the head, it's just as bad. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't. There's no level. You don't get to be bad or worse. Once you get to bad, it's the same.
And let me clarify my statement,
please.
No, you should not look at child porn ever. But if you look at regular porn, you do it at your house. You don't do it at work. You don't look at pornography at work. It does not. That's not a cool place to do it. Especially if you work for Disney. You should not be looking at some porn stars on your Disney computer because let's just be real about it. They got you. They check you. Oh, man, Disney probably has the best security on the planet because of. It's bad enough that in some of their movies you can quote unquote see some suggestive things, you know, in the movies. But let's just be real, man. Any job you have, you don't look at any type of pornography at work, man. So he already messed up. It's bad enough he was looking at porn. Now he's looking at child porn. I mean, you already, man, just get your penis cut off, yo. Be done.
So you agree with castration, Carlton Banks?
With child pornography, most definitely.
When you hear the story, Carlton Banks, tell us, you know, jump in here. What's your thoughts, man?
Hey, man, they put an individual who may not have been able to get a job. So, you know, if they thought outside the box by getting a handicapped person to help them out, and they put an income in their pocket. So I can't be mad at them, but for so much.
I'm with you on
and
that.
And it's not the first time people have taken advantage of something, but they took advantage of a way of paying and paid somebody to do it. So the ethics are there, but they paid
now
for it.
They're getting like $3 an hour. Man, you gotta give at least minimum wage.
I'm gonna punch y'all in the face for real. I'm gonna really punch y'all in the face.
I'm just saying,
I'm gonna punch y'all in the face when the show's over. I'm punching y'all both in the face. Whatever. I'm gonna stand on this table and punch y'all in the face.
Pastor / Disney worker. I don't care what you're doing. That's just nasty. And he get exactly what he deserves.
Say no to baby ass. Baby ass with the circle and the line in it.
Circle, the big red line.
Yeah,
like
with the line in it. But you can't put an actual baby ass in it. You gotta write the words baby ass with a circle and the line in it. I'm just saying. You can't look at baby ass.
That drawn up, because that's just funny.
It's funny, But sometimes, I remember when I was in college, my first year at Virginia Union University in 1992, we had a dorm director who said, quote, same thing make you laugh, make you cry. So we make a lot of it. We're having a little fun with it, but the reality is this is a person who is leading a church who is at work at Disney. Now, look at the irony here. He is he's a grown man. Yes, he's a grown man. But he's a preacher who works at Disney.
You know what?
We're not talking about Kirk Franklin.
See, I really don't put no emphasis on the fact that he's a pastor, because they people too. Yeah. Like all people who represent God. I mean, you still people. At the end of the day, nobody's perfect. So I mean, what he did is just extra nasty though. Right. As far as the people paying handicapped folk to get at the front of lines, I really actually don't have a problem with it. I think it's rather shallow, but I don't see anything wrong with it. At least they get paid. You could probably kick the dude at the ride $50 and you'll get to the front of the line.
Reverend Mickey Mouse has opened the doors of the church right now and is letting everybody in to come watch his computer right now. So a shout out to Reverend Mickey Mouse there.
Called Big real quick.
I mean, as far as back to the kids in the line, if they pay good market value, I ain't mad at that. I mean, but you're not gonna pay me $5 to sit in this long ass line. I'm just saying, you gotta pay. You gotta be real with it. I mean, Marcus is like, man, I'm gonna beat y'all, but I'm real. If you get in the Grizzly and it's a long ass line, $50, I'll stand there for $50. Don't get it twisted. I mean, as long as they paying a decent amount of cash, I'm cool with it. You start $5, nah, man. That's just messed up.
I have Steppin with Marcus J. I'm gonna move on from the Disney stories. I got a couple of real quick ones before we get on to the end of the show. The next one, I'm gonna come to Fawn on this one first. I saw an article, not an article, but I saw a news story on the news this morning. I won't call out where I saw it because they ain't paying us, okay? But I also heard another talk show host who I respect do this story as well. So I noticed it's out there, it's prominent. You've got facial recognition software that will target you as you walk through the mall to determine what your demographic is and determine what your shopping tendencies may be. Now, let me explain that a little bit more simply. We know there's facial recognition. We know the government knows what we're doing. Shit, they might be in here right now. I said, shit, the 4th time tonight, 5 times tonight. Okay, sorry. You owe a lot of money. Yeah, I know I owe a lot of money. But
a party.
Yeah, there is. But seriously, we know that they know what we're doing. The president right now is fighting with the company where they're phone tap people. Associated Press. So we know that they know what we're doing. If you ever saw Enemy of the State in 1998, they was watching you from the little red dot in your cable box. They know what we're doing. Your cell phone, they know what you're doing. Every time you swipe your credit card, they know what you're doing. But now, you walking through the mall, and you might see a mannequin in the middle of the mall, and it's got an infrared camera in it, and it looks in your face, and it sees that you're a 20-something, you're a 30-something male, you're a 20-something female, you're a 60-something male, and based on what your demographic may be by the facial recognition software, it might put 3 steps past that mannequin a big screen to give you some sort of advertisement as to what you may want to shop for. You understand what I'm saying? So now that we see that they are targeting us with facial recognition in malls, what's your thoughts on that? Do you feel that that's an invasion of privacy, or do you think that that's okay? Go ahead and target me.
I believe that it's invasion of privacy, and it's a good thing I don't go to the mall. So I think it's just a little bit too much. A little bit too much.
JL, what's your thoughts on that, man? If you walking through the mall, I know you, you know me, 20-something, 30-something, 40-something males in here, what they'll probably target us, maybe sneakers, maybe golf clubs, things of that sort. If it been Mama J, they might be targeting her, for, maybe the young female stores. If it was, for Big Rule, maybe they'd be targeting him for snacks. And maybe if it was Carlton Banks, maybe they was targeting him for camera equipment. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. I'm trying to clown Big Rule, but he didn't respond. But fair enough. But seriously, I mean, when you hear this story, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, you know how I feel about conspiracy. So I'm not so much concerned that they looking at me, because I know they're looking at me anyway. I know they was looking at me before the facial recognition software. I know they're looking at the brands. They're looking at the type of clothing. So that much, by that much, I mean, I really don't have an issue with that per se. What I have an issue with is the implications of facial recognition software and where they're going with this. I think that they're getting to a point where they are putting all of us into a machine, and I don't know what their end game is with putting us into this machine. But I know there's books that talk about that. So marketing, no, I really don't have a problem. But what they can do with tracking me and looking at me and things when I don't know they looking at me, I'm really not comfortable with that.
Big Rule, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I don't have any issues with it. I mean, when it's all said and done, it might get me closer to what I want. Because, don't get me on it, I mean, a lot of people are just like, it's an invasion of privacy. It's an invasion of privacy. Man, you already do half your life has already been invaded. You might as well just finish it up. It's not a big deal. Maybe I'll get to, hey, maybe I do want that. So, I mean, I think it helps the economy. I think that if you think it's a personal, if you think it's a thing about your personal privacy, then you already have stuff to hide. Ladies and gentlemen,
ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. We're gonna move to the last couple of questions that we got for the What the Hell segment. The next one is bound to get you a little bit fired up. You've got a talk show host who had some very, very questionable things about, to say about the former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. I'm gonna go ahead and play it for the crew, and then we're gonna go ahead and round table it. Go ahead and listen to this clip real quick, and we're gonna talk.
I want to remind you that in Benghazi, Miss Hillary, the freaking biggest vagina on the face of the planet, told troops to stand down and to not go in and interfere with the operation that they set up, because they're moving arms. I want to shoot her right in the vagina, and just really, I don't want her to die right away. I want her to feel the pain, and I want to look her in the eyes, and I want to say, on behalf of all Americans that you've killed, on behalf of the Navy SEALs, the families of Navy SEAL Team 6 who were involved in the fake hunt down of this Obama bin Laden thing, that whole fake scenario, because these Navy SEALs know the truth, they killed them all. On behalf of all of those people, I'm supporting our troops by saying we need to try, convict, and shoot Hillary Clinton in the vagina.
All right, Big Robe, you've heard it. That is a radio host by the name of You had a radio host by the name of Pete Santilli, who made those comments. He wants to shoot Hillary Clinton in the vagina, and it was a very extreme statement that he made. And I'm not even going to try to analyze what his motive is for saying it, but I want to talk about it. Everybody who is here, we lost Fawn. She's gone for the night, but we still have Big Rube, JR, Calm Banks, and myself. We're going to all get in on this one and one other story before we end for the night and get into our rants. I'm going to start with Big Rube on this one. What's your thoughts, man?
My first thought is, what is the truth to this? Is there any truth? I mean, if that is true, then, you know, I'm not cool about shooting in the vagina, but I think that if it is true that it was all farce and all this other stuff, then yeah, something should be done. But I don't think he has the proof. Until you can prove to me what was done was wrong and wrong, then I really don't care what you have to say to me.
JR?
It's distasteful whether you like Hillary Clinton or not, whether you like any politician for that matter, whether they spew racism or whatever. Like to advocate shooting someone so they will die is repulsive. You know, I'm almost at a loss for words to even describe, like, why would you say something like that? Why do you put yourself out there and say something for shock value and then it blow up on you like this? Lil Wayne with the Emmett Till comment, like, just people saying stuff before they think about it. Yeah, you got freedom of speech, but you can't threaten a politician who serves this country, especially not just a former Secretary of State, but a former First Lady. Like, you're now basically advocating the death of a former president's wife. Like that, you could do that, but you can't do that.
Calm Banks, what's your thoughts, man?
Well, he has a right to say what he wants to say, how he says it, and things of that nature. That's his right to free speech. However, he is advocating violence, which in many respects is not supposed to be done. You know, I can't really give an opinion when, in fact, I'll be criticizing his own opinion. Have people said things like that before? Yes, they have. Would I want to say something like that? I doubt it, seriously. But in the same standpoint, he has every right to feel the way he wants to feel, say what he wants to say, and it has to be said, go for that. Sorry.
You know, my thoughts on this is this. You have a culture in the United States media where folks on the right side they take the liberties to say these outlandishly crazy things, and no one challenges them. No one says, you know what, you can't say that. People on the left side, they don't challenge. You know what I mean? They don't say stuff like that. I listen to talk radio all day, every single day, and if I wanted to play clips of what, you know, the fat guy says, I could. Yeah, and I think we all know who the fat guy is. If I wanted to play clips of what the other guys say on that network, you know, think of, you know, the Real Smart Dog. I won't say the name of the network, but, you know, if I wanted to play clips for all of them, I could. You know, the fact that this dude said those kinds of things, yeah, did he say them for shock value? Yeah. Do I think that he would actually want to do that? No. You know, but then again, maybe he will. You know, the level of disrespect that is coming out is so crazy. It's so outlandish that it's scary to me. You know what I'm saying? Because the culture of the United States that we're in now, you know, I get the whole free speech thing. I get the fact that you can say what you want to say. It's in the Constitution. But you can't scream fire in a crowded theater either, Big Rule. You don't just get to say, I want to take a gun and shoot the vagina of the the Secretary of State. I mean, that's so over the toply crazy that I don't even know if we can let that go. And I don't know if that statement made the national mainstream. I happened to come across it today, and as I was researching for the show, but that's just crazy, Rube. What's your thoughts, man?
I mean, free speech is not free. You just can't say whatever the hell you want to say and expect nothing to happen to you. I think it's time that people need to start making examples out of people. To me, that is a terrorist threat. You have threatened to shoot one of the leaders of the free world.
No, he said she needs to be tried.
No. He said that
Vagina.
Yeah, he said
she should be tried.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Look,
it doesn't matter.
Because I don't mean to cut you over, but you get on my damn nerves sometimes because you try to justify nonsense.
I'm not
You justify nonsense. Let me make this point. Let me just make this point. I get the devil's advocate, but this ain't no devil's advocate. He ain't trying to try her. He said that he want to put a gun in her vagina. Okay, cut the crap with the devil's advocate. For real. Seriously, man. You don't get to play the devil's advocate on this. You do not. No, we're not putting words in his mouth. We played the clip.
That's what he said. He said he wants to try her and then shoot her.
We don't play devil's advocate with nonsense.
Okay.
We played the clip. We heard him say he wants to put a gun in her vagina and shoot her. Okay? No. We don't get to play the devil's advocate on that.
He said that. He said it like 5 times.
Wait, he said that after.
He said it like 5 times, Joe.
He said, I want to shoot her right in the vagina, and I don't want her to die right away. I want her to feel pain.
Okay.
I want her to look in the eyes, and I want to
right
say
there.
on behalf of all Americans that you've killed on behalf of the Navy SEALs, the families of Navy SEAL Team 6 who were involved in the fake hunt down this Obama bin Laden thing, which was started by the other presidency. So, but it's now the Obama thing. But that's a whole nother story. And the Navy SEALs that know the truth that they killed them all. I'm supported by our troops by saying we need to try, convict, shoot Hillary Clinton in the vagina. Try and convict. Not try and decide whether or not she's guilty or innocent, but try, convict, shoot.
That's talks of treason, sir.
Convict, shoot.
That is talks of treason.
He stated she needs to die.
Okay, yeah, he says she needs to die, but he also said convict.
It doesn't matter.
He said he wanted her to.
You know what?
He wants to put her in front of a jury.
But you know,
and that's
I know jury. He said no matter.
What's convict?
Hold on, stop. Hold on.
How do you convict somebody if you don't have a jury?
He said I want to shoot her in the vagina.
Look, Banks.
Die right away.
Look,
I'm
Banks.
just saying.
He already stated what he wanted the outcome.
Hold on.
He already stated what he wanted the outcome to be.
What part of our government allows anybody to shoot somebody in the vagina? Please tell me what part.
Hello, what?
No, what part of our government it says that for your punishment we can shoot you in the vagina?
The same government that still has hanging in the books. The same government that has certain positions you can't.
I mean, is that in the law that we can shoot somebody in the government?
It could be a law. I'm not saying it is.
But you
asked a question.
But
where is that?
But I'm saying
could be the law.
But I'm telling you that it isn't. I know for a fact it isn't.
Do you know every law in the books?
Have you heard of a law of shooting somebody in the vagina?
Have you heard the law that they're still hanging on the books?
In other dictatorships, they do things like that.
Okay.
Last time I checked, this isn't a dictatorship. However, it should be sometimes. And in this case, this dude is talking treason.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. You know what annoys the hell out of me when Colin, I'm not gonna call, well, I guess I am. I was gonna say I'm not gonna call you out, but you like to play the devil's advocate sometimes when I think it's crazy as hell that you're playing the devil's advocate. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this clip one more time so that you can actually hear it again and see if you want to play the devil's advocate again. Just sit tight. I'm gonna play it one more time.
I want to remind you that in Benghazi, Miss Hillary, the freaking biggest vagina on the face of the planet, told troops to stand down and to not go in and interfere with the operation that they set up because they're moving arms. I want to shoot her right in the vagina and just really, I don't want her to die right away. I want her to feel the pain and I want to look her in the eyes and I want to say, on behalf of all Americans that you've killed, on behalf of the Navy SEALs, that families of Navy SEAL Team 6 who were involved in the fake hunt down of this Obama bin Laden thing, that whole fake scenario, because these Navy SEALs know the truth, they killed them all. On behalf of all of those people, I'm supporting our troops by saying we need to try, convict, and shoot Hillary Clinton in the vagina.
All right, we just played it again. All right, Carlton, what do you have to say? I mean, you still feel like you think that there's some sort of trial here. You justifying that statement?
His first statement was to shoot her in the vagina. At the end of the clip, he said we need to try, convict, and shoot her in the vagina. He should have said that in reverse order. If that was his intent, not to.
So you gonna sidestep the fact that this man said shoot her in the vagina? You gonna not admit that he wants to just straight up shoot her in the vagina? And not only that, he did say that. He did look her in the eyes when they do.
He did say that at first. However, in that same ending statement, he did say convict.
Wrong.
He said when he said convict, that's basically bringing it to trial.
Convict and shoot. He didn't say basically bringing it to trial. He just said convict.
That's the punishment he wants. When somebody kills. Okay, and when somebody kills their family, kills a family member,
he wants to be that.
I know we still got people. I know we still got people listening to us on MixLR fan page. Call us, hit us up, and let us know if we the only ones that think that Carlton Banks out his damn mind. 804-402-2893. Time right now is 9:25. We're gonna go a few more minutes in this segment before we close with our rants and our closings. But the conversation that this sparked up, we definitely need to take some time with this big road.
Well,
do you think Carlton Banks out his mind, or do you think that there's a grain of truth and fairness in what he's saying?
it doesn't matter whether he's out of his mind or if there's a grain of truth. It just disappoints me, the fact that Carlton Banks is an intelligent person and he continues to feed into this shock jock mentality. The shock jock mentality is meant for the people who are unintelligent to sit here, who can absorb ignorance and then take it and use it for what they want to use it for. The fact that you even devil's advocating this or whatever really shows me that it is questioning my intelligence, my thought process of intelligence to you. Because to be perfectly honest with you, I know I see through it. I know we see through it, and I know you see through it. And it just kills me that, I'm not even talking about this being a radio thing. I'm talking about this is the ignorance that has been spewed out into our country all the time. And the fact that you just choose to play devil's advocate because you want to get a reaction or whatever really just disappoints me in the fact that you're feeding into this mentality. Because, I know you're an intelligent dude, and I'm not going to sit here and argue about this because you know damn well what this dude's saying, and you can play as devil's advocate bull ass if you want, but I'm not going to feed into it, because by us feeding into the unintelligence of this is why our country's effed up now. So don't even talk while I'm talking.
Well, hold on.
Don't talk while I'm talking, because I'm not going to answer you if you're going to continue to sit here and justify the ignorance that this dude just spoke. I'm not, because I'm not dealing with it.
Then let me ask you this. How many times did you see a black person post the picture of the white man on the motorcycle saying it's a White House? How many times did you see that during the presidency? Now, hold on. You're saying devil advocate. When you see a black person post a racist comment directed at Obama on their page so other people can say it, what is that person doing? What is he doing?
He's feeding into the ignorance.
Okay, but a black man is promoting that. A black woman is promoting that. And but again, it's a racist comment towards a black person, you, me, and myself, and everybody in this room.
But a
black person is promoting that.
I wasn't going to jump in here, but I'm going to jump in for the purposes of addressing that comment, because I was one of those people who posted that picture. And I'm going to tell you the logic behind me posting the picture. I see a white man on a motorcycle with a shirt on that says, it's a White House. Basically, what's a black dude being in there? The purpose of me reposting that is showing people the whole the craziness of the people that you go to work with every day. because they may not say nothing to you, but you got people around you who feel that way. And I think because I feel real strongly about speaking about race in this country, you can walk around and act like you don't have your racial feelings, but the reality is when you in your comfort zone, when you black and you around other black people and you dropping the M-bomb and you calling white people out their name, and you white and you dropping the M-bomb and you calling black people out their name, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? I've been in those circles. I've done it. But I acknowledge that it's not cool. So don't go there and say that because you black and you posting those pictures that you're doing the same thing that dude was doing.
I'm not saying
because that is what you're doing. That is what you're saying.
I'm just telling you that I'm giving you the same example.
It's not the same.
It's
you
not
can't put that in the same class.
It's not saying that.
You can't put that in the same class, man, because it sounds like you putting it in the same class.
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, tell me why that you think that it's okay. Why is it okay for a black man to put on a Facebook or Twitter or Tumblr or Instagram a picture of a white man with a shirt on that says put the white back in the White House? You know, why is it the same as a white man? Forget that it's a white man, because that whole thing about Hillary Clinton, that ain't even a color thing. That's not even a color thing.
Exactly.
That's ain't got nothing to do with color.
Because you're promoting something that somebody else wants you to see. Okay? You're promoting that. That's what it is. You're promoting that whole stereotype that's what it's always going to be about. That's being promoted regardless of how you shared it, who you shared it with. It's being shared. It's being trickled to the next person, to the next person. That person is still sharing. The white man could be saying, he could share it and say, hey, yes, I totally agree. It's supposed to be a White House. But then the black man is saying, no, it shouldn't be. If you're not giving it if you're not making it available to the next man to share it, then it can't be shared. It dies right there.
So you're basically saying that if you see it and don't acknowledge it, it dies.
It dies.
I disagree with that. JR.
He's advocating death though. Like you can post and share foolishness all you want to, but he is advocating that she die. He said, I want to shoot her.
And I want to watch her. I don't want her to die right away.
I want to shoot her. That's the same thing as being on an airplane and saying, I want to blow this airplane up.
What happened to the shock jock that said he wanted to rape the little girl? Hold on. What happened to the shock jock that said he wanted to rape the little girl?
That can be considered a felony right there.
Hold on. Who was the shock jock that was here in Richmond? That he was here before Russ Parr?
I remember it, but I don't remember the name. It was a guy in New York who
he was out in New York. They pulled his ass off the air. Did they not? Who?
Mancow.
That sounds right.
He's not on the air anymore.
Okay, they'll probably do the same thing to him. What about the man who called Rutgers basketball team a bunch of
nappy-headed
hoes?
But it's not.
Okay, but hold on.
People nappy-headed hoes ain't to say is advocating shooting and killing somebody.
It's their trust. Believe it or not, they have the right to free speech, right? That's their opinion.
No, I mean, look, as a trained journalist, someone who has a degree in journalism, and someone that hosts a radio show and owns a website, trust me, I will defend his right to say that nonsense to the end. I will absolutely defend him.
Okay.
Because it's his right to say it. I'll defend the Ku Klux Klan because this is their right to do what they do. And I will take the heat that I know I will get from people because I said what I said. I don't really care what you think. At the end of the day, you get to say whatever you want to say, but you don't get to scream fire in a crowded theater. Just because you get a right to say it does not mean that there's not consequences for saying it.
And his consequences for saying that will be what? More than likely pulled off the air. More than likely lose sponsorship. More than likely lose his job. That's what's going to more than likely happen to him. Nothing else is going to happen to him. He can say whatever he wants to say.
He can, but he should be put in jail.
Well, you know what? David, who is it? David Rush? Is it David Rush, the Ku Klux Klansman?
David Dukes.
He sat there and said, please do not kill Obama. Because, in fact, if you do, you make him a martyr. So you already had the Ku Klux Klansmen thinking that they should kill Obama. Okay,
Yeah,
so
but
what
I
did
mean,
he
I
say?
don't
He
think
went
that
back
we-
and played. He played.
We're not
wants
gonna be
to
we're not
support
gonna be naive about the fact that we know that there's a strong contingent of white folk in this country who will forget the fact that Obama is half white. President Obama is half white. They will focus on the fact that he's all black. Just like there's a plenty of black people in this country who gonna forget that he's half white, and they're gonna focus on the fact that he's black, and they want to basically, highlight that. The white folk who hate on him because of his black blood, they're going to want to do what they used to do to black folk back in the day. And black folk who love him because he's black, they're going to support him and forget. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know that I would even throw that in there because it kind of cancels itself out, Big Road. I'm not really feeling Carlton Banks right now.
My thing is, I thought it was interesting.
JR's agreeing with me. He's not feeling him either.
I'm not feeling him either. I just thought it was interesting that we as black men, and I feel I can say this, instead of for calling this what it is, we automatically revert to racial situations. This is not a race situation. This is a dude who wants to kill another person because of whatever beliefs he has, and it's not just any person. It's the Secretary of State of our United States. Last time I checked, that's called treason. Now, you say he has free speech. You're right. He does have free speech, but there are consequences to what you say. Like you said, you can scream bomb in the airplane all you want. Yo, you about to get taken down and go to jail. This dude can sit here and talk about how much he wants to kill anybody, but yo, you say you want to kill the wrong person, you done. And this may never make it to Hillary Clinton. This may never make it to the people who need to hear it. But the fact is, my disagreement in this whole thing is not the fact of this ignorant asshole who feels like he can say what he wants. I don't care. He can say what he wants for his quote-unquote shock value. Because I'm going to be real with you. Shock value is ignorance. And then number two, the fact that I'm just, like I said, all this other stuff y'all talking about, race, stuff like that has nothing to do with this. I'm just more disappointed that at this time, Banks has chosen to take the road of what's it called? The road of being the devil's advocate in a situation where I don't think a devil advocate is needed. That's just my personal opinion. I still love the brother, but I think that sometimes the choices that this was a bad choice to take the devil's advocate on, and that's just my personal opinion, because it doesn't matter what it's about. You can't go on TV or radio or anywhere or internet and sit here and say, yo, I want to kill somebody who was in the national office. That stuff don't fly. Yo, he should be done.
Dating Pool Diva says that free speech cannot freely impose, offend, or threaten others. Simone says that his words are considered terroristic threat, and freedom of speech can cost him more than he bargained for. Carlton Banks, pretty much everybody's against you. Knowing you the way I know you, you don't give a damn if people are against you, because I agree with you. You my brother for the last damn near 20 years. We agree. I could care less if you agree with me or not. If I feel strongly about something, I feel strongly about it. I'm guessing you feel strongly about your position, even though everybody in the world, including Big Rube, Marcus J, and JR, disagree with you. The Dating Pool Diva and Miss Simone, we all disagree with you, but I'm going to give you the final opportunity to kind of flesh out your point before we move on.
Nothing's going to happen to this man, regardless of what he says, does, or indifferent. If something does happen to him, he's got a legal system and a judicial system that's going to be on his side, plain and simple. How many times have presidents before today's current office been threatened? All of them have been threatened in some source, in some fashion. Cuba is right there. This man just happens to be on U.S. soil. He's saying something at a bad time, and you know what? That's his right. In my opinion, that's his right as for free speech. Again, nothing's going to happen to him, because if it did, then you're going to start living in, quote unquote, a dictatorship where a person can't say what they want to say. You can speak about anything you want in the heat of a moment. I know somebody who got their car broken into. First thing they want to say is they want to kill the MFer that did that. Okay? Does that person literally mean that? Quite possibly. But in fact, when they get the chance to do it, will they do it? That's the whole truth of the matter. Will they do it? Anything that comes out of my mouth can be said, will be heard, and probably understood or misunderstood. But whether or not the action takes place, that's a totally different situation. When I had my car accident, I told the sheriff right then and there, had the kid stayed, I would have tried to kill his ass. Okay? But you know what? I might not have. But the thing is, that's how I felt. And that's what this man is talking about, how he feels. So if you're going to justify, you're going to take away how he should feel, when in case we're supposed to be all feelings and have the ability to say what we want to say, when we want to say it, and how we want to say it, that's just how he feels. Okay? Yeah, he wants to shoot the lady, but he also goes back and says he wants to convict her. So one standpoint, he's already got her in front of the firing squad. The second standpoint, he at least getting her a jury. Those are the two things that he said, and that's what I pulled out in his conversation. He's mad, he's upset. So when you're mad and you're upset, you say any damn thing you want. You're going to say it how you want, and you're going to say it when you want. It's up to you to understand whether or not he has the ability to carry through on that message, yes or no.
Let me just end this segment by kind of bringing in another story that kind of shows you what there's a section of the United States population that has such a level of disrespect for others that is mind-boggling. And the fact that this guy said what he said about Hillary Clinton, who's on the right side, and obviously I'm not on the right side. I understand some of their principles. I consider myself in the middle. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm in the middle. I understand some of their policies and I agree with some of them, but some of them out their damn mind. And one of those people who's completely out their damn mind, aside from the fella that said what he said, is about Hillary Clinton, is the guy who said what he said about the NAACP, and that guy is Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck, who we know who he is. He used to be a Fox News person. Now he's independent, who came out and said that the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, is a joke, and white people were lynched for them, and that was a statement that he made. He is saying, quote, "They are a joke and an affront to everything that Martin Luther King and anybody who ever, Booker T. Washington, Frederick Douglass, you are a affront to their memory." He is basically saying, quote again, "You know what? I contend that white people that were lynched are exactly the kind of people that would be in the Tea Party today." Of course, his sentiments have people scratching their head, but then again, what else is new? You know, people like him say what they say. I bring him up at this point of the conversation to say that you got a lot of people on that side of the political aisle who say these outlandish, crazy things. They are intelligent, they are smart, but their audience may not always be as such. And those people get riled up and may sometimes go out and do these crazy things. I understand that some folks may have issues with the NAACP, but to suggest that 20% of the lynchings performed by the KKK were of white people, it's just crazy as hell. And this is something that Glenn Beck is talking about. And I know that we're taking a different turn from what we were just talking about, but I bring them up because I think those two stories are synonymous with each other, which shows to the craziness that some of these folks are on the right side. So, Carl Banks, I'm coming to you on this one first. You're justifying this guy saying these things about Hillary Clinton. You going to justify Glenn Beck as well?
Some of what Glenn Beck said, I feel is true. I don't feel that some of the things that have taken place based off of what my beliefs and understandings on MLK have been pushed forward by the NAACP. I don't know everything about them. I can't speak for being involved or saying everything that they do, but some of the things I feel could be better portrayed, or they can be more active and involved in getting in. Again, a lot of it perpetuated from Martin Luther King. But again, what is his defined legacy, and has that changed since his death?
JR?
In reference to the Glenn Beck thing with Martin Luther King, do I think he would be happy with everything that they're doing? No. Just as nobody's going to be 100% happy with it. But to say that he would not be, at all involved or anything, that's just a bit extreme. And I think he did that on purpose. He did that to poke nerves, poke at people, especially the NAACP. I mean, I've listened to Glenn Beck for years. I love to hear all points of views because I'm neither Democrat nor Republican. I could care less about either one of them. I think they both do dirt to us, and none of them are for us. I think it's more. I think nowadays it's not even about color for them. It's about class. It's about but we don't understand that, or most people don't understand that. So no, I mean I don't think Martin Luther King would agree with everything, but at the same time, he didn't agree with everything that Malcolm X said. They had two opposing views. So,
Big rope.
I think the reason why he said it is honestly to put some attention on the NAACP. Because to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think they do a very good job of publicizing themselves and what positive things that they do. It has been a long time since I've seen a commercial, the "Don't Let a Mind Go to Waste" or whatever. It's been forever since I've seen those commercials, and I feel like their marketing department doesn't market them very well. Now, they may market them somewhere else other than maybe here. I am just a dude who barely watches TV and stuff like that, but I don't see the See, I'm even saying it wrong. The NAACP, I don't know if they don't market themselves very well. Unless you go to a HBCU, and even if you go to HBCU, I don't know, maybe y'all can answer this for me. You don't hear a lot about the NAACP. I mean, I don't see what's wrong with them being in other schools other than HBCUs, but I mean, I don't get enough information about them to really know what they do.
I would just add too that a couple weeks ago I gave Al Sharpton a bit of flack, and to which Marcus responded, he has a lot of respect for him, and I would say from somebody who really doesn't, I see him doing more than I see the NAACP. To me, I mean, what do they do? What have they done? I can't really say. But I will say that Martin Luther King may affect people in a way that would inspire them to do more. So we can't say that he just wouldn't be associated.
Let me just end the segment by saying this. Anytime the name Al Sharpton comes up, I'm going to defend him even if someone is not attacking him. But that's how I am, because when you have a man who is pretty much everything he says and does is for the advancement of people who have been disrespected, regardless of what your race is, regardless of what your gender is, your age, whatever. This isn't a man that goes and chases ambulances. This is a man who gets a call, someone says they've been disrespected, and he goes and he helps them out. And the stuff that he does, a lot of it doesn't even make the mainstream news. And every time he gets a call, he's there until the end of it. So that's me and my take on Al Sharpton. And a lot of it comes from me spending the last 5 years listening to him on the radio every single day from 1 to 4 p.m. You know what I'm saying? And I'll plug him on my show, and you can follow him on MSNBC for Politics Nation. That's a guy who I follow, who I look up to. Because, here's the thing. You get a lot of people who don't pay attention to what's going on. They listen to what other people say. And a lot of people, and sadly, black people, who have issues with someone like Al Sharpton. You know what? Black people had issues with Martin Luther King when he was living. You know what I'm saying? They hated this dude, okay? And now everybody is up in arms about anytime a white person say something about Martin Luther King, they want to fight. But you know what? If you was living in 1967, months before he died, you didn't like Martin Luther King either. So when Al Sharpton ain't here no more, you're going to wish he was here. So let me just say that. And Jay, I know you didn't say anything disparaging about him, but you know me well enough to know every single time his name comes up, I'm going to defend him even if he's not being disrespected. As far as the NAACP is concerned, a lot of the stuff that they do is not mainstream. A lot of the things that they do is local. You need organizations like that to keep the mainstream honest. You need National Action Network, which is led by Al Sharpton. You need the NAACP. You need the Urban League. You need these organizations because if you got something going on in your hood and you don't have a voice, if you don't know who to contact, if you got issues that maybe no one is listening to you and you need someone to maybe go to the police department to help you out, who you going to go to? You can't afford an attorney. Maybe you might go to a civil rights organization to help you out. So I think those organizations are very, very important. And not to get away from the whole point of me bringing the whole Glenn Beck thing up, the whole reason why I brought that up is because he tried to turn it around and make it seem like the white folk and the Tea Party people are the people who are at the forefront of that argument, and how those people would be the ones that would be, hurt and lynched and things of that sort. No, let's not do that, because a few months ago or a year ago, he was also the same person who tried to make the Martin Luther King monument and that whole thing being, dedicated about his thing. He showed up. You know what I'm saying? So let's not take away from the fact that people on his mindset and his side of the political aisle, those are the people sometimes are the ones that try to turn it around and forget about the fact that people in this country are not taken care of. Those people in this country are not respected. And let's talk about that. Now, Big Roo, I'm gonna come to you. We're gonna go and end the segment, but I'm gonna give you the last word on this. You got civil rights organizations, several of them, and I just named them. You got Glenn Beck that comes out and he attacks one specifically and tries to make it a situation where he wants to attach the Tea Party as the people who are maybe disrespected. What's your thoughts? I'm gonna ask you a question. What's your thoughts on how some folks on the right side, try to make themselves as sympathetic symbols with regards to how things are going in this country?
I think if you have to do something like that, you already know that sums up. I mean, my thing is, you don't have to sit and know who's who in order to hear what people are talking. Through the election, you got you had a lot of mudslinging, as it were. But when it's all said and done, it comes down to the message that's being sent. And unfortunately, the message that was being sent by one side was negative to the point, whereas you're talking a whole bunch of, you're not just negative to the person, you're negative to people. Whereas the other side wasn't exactly negative to people, it was negative to the person on why this person would not be a good president. I think a lot of mudslinging goes on, but you have to pay attention, you have to listen, and you really have to pay attention to what exactly is being said. And there's always an underlying purpose for each thing. As you notice, one side never deviated from the fact that, hey, this dude may not be the best dude, not because he was Mormon, not because he was white, because his past has basically said he may not be the next dude. Whereas the other side did the same thing and then sprinkled a little, oh yeah, he's black, so we don't get chicken in the White House or all the other craziness. So you just got to pay attention to the underlying stuff.
As Steppin with Marcus J. We're going to take our final break of the night, and when we come back, we got a special guest that's going to join us to share with us about an event that we got going on this weekend. We got our rants, we got our closings, so we know we went way over, but hey, look, we live from the den with Ain't No Hashtag with Marcus J. Legacy Internet Radio.com, wholly owned and run by the crew of Ain't No Hashtag with Marcus J. Marcus J here with Big Rube J. I'm calling Banks. And the folks on MixLR, Winamp, Shoutcast, and Loud City hanging there with us. We're going to take a real short break. When we come back, we got the Dating Pool Divas going to join us and the rest of the crew with our rants and our closers. Stay with us.
As I pick up the pen,